In the wake of England's recent defeat to Iceland, the use of Bukayo Saka's image by several prominent media outlets has ignited a debate on the role of media in shaping public perceptions and its potential to perpetuate racial biases. The controversy was amplified by former England striker Ian Wright and other prominent voices in the football community, highlighting the enduring issue of racial discrimination in sports journalism. This blog delves into the details of the controversy, the reactions it sparked, and the broader implications for media responsibility and racial equity. The incident. England's loss to Iceland at Wembley on a Friday evening was a disappointing event for the national team. Bukayo Saka, who came on as a 65th-minute substitute, found himself at the center of a media storm when his image was prominently featured on the back pages of several English newspapers, including The Star and The Sunday. Additionally, The Telegraph used Saka's photo to illustrate a player ratings post on social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. The BBC Sport website also used Saka's image during its live text coverage of the match. Public and professional reactions. Ian Wright, a former England striker, was quick to criticize the choice of Saka's image, suggesting that those responsible for the editorial decisions were aware of the implications of their actions. Wright's condemnation was echoed by Tony Burnett, chief executive of the anti-racism organization Kick It Out, who penned an open letter to editors urging them to remember their responsibilities and the broader impact of their choices. Burnett's letter emphasized the progress made in diversifying the media industry but underscored that incidents like this undermine those efforts. He highlighted the historical and ongoing impact of negative media portrayals of black players, noting that such actions sent damaging messages to both players and fans from minority communities. Delroy Corinaldi, executive director of the Black Footballers Partnership, also weighed in, describing the use of Saka's image as divisive and reminiscent of past behaviors where young black footballers were unfairly targeted. Corinaldi's reference to Raheem Sterling's 2018 comments about the media's role in fueling racism underscored the persistence of these issues. Historical context and patterns. The media's portrayal of black athletes has long been a contentious issue. In 2018, Raheem Sterling called out the UK media for their biased coverage of young black footballers, which he argued contributed to the racial abuse he and others faced. The pattern of using black players as scapegoats in the wake of defeats or poor performances has been criticized for perpetuating negative stereotypes and implicitly suggesting that these players are to blame for collective failures. Saka, Marcus Rashford, and Jadon Sancho, who all missed penalties in England's 3-2 shootout loss to Italy in the Euro 2020 final, faced horrific racial abuse online. This incident served as a stark reminder of the media's influence and the direct correlation between negative coverage and subsequent abuse. The role of media responsibility. Tony Burnett's open letter and subsequent comments from other prominent figures stress the need for greater media responsibility. The argument is that the media must be acutely aware of the historical context and potential consequences of their editorial choices, especially when it comes to selecting images and framing narratives. Burnett's letter pointed out that while progress has been made, as evidenced by increased diversity in the media industry and legislative measures like the Online Safety Bill, the volume of discriminatory reports received by Kick It Out indicates that more needs to be done. He urged media outlets to consider the broader impact of their work, noting that the way black players are portrayed can significantly influence public perception and the behavior of online abusers. The media's reaction. In response to the backlash, BBC Sport reached out to The Sun, The Star, The Telegraph, press regulator Independent Press Standards Organisation IPSO, and the News Media Association for their take on the issue. The response from these entities will be crucial in understanding their perspective and any steps they may take to address the concerns raised. Moving forward, advocating for change. The controversy surrounding Bukayo Saka's image underscores the need for a concerted effort to address racial biases in sports journalism. Here are several steps that media outlets can take to ensure more responsible and equitable coverage. Diversify newsrooms. Ensure that editorial teams are diverse and inclusive, bringing a variety of perspectives to the decision-making process. Bias training. Implement regular training on unconscious bias and cultural sensitivity for all media personnel. Editorial guidelines. Develop and enforce guidelines that consider the potential impact of image selection and headline framing on different communities. Community engagement. Engage with organizations like Kick It Out and the Black Footballers Partnership to gain insights and guidance on best practices. Accountability mechanisms. Establish clear mechanisms for accountability and feedback, allowing the public to voice concerns about biased coverage. The use of Bukayo Saka's image in the wake of England's defeat to Iceland has brought to light enduring issues of racial bias in media coverage of football. The reactions from Ian Wright, Tony Burnett, Delroy Corinaldi, and others highlight the significant impact of media portrayals on public perception and player welfare. As the football community and media industry continue to grapple with these issues, it is imperative to foster a more responsible and inclusive media environment that supports all players, regardless of their background. By taking concrete steps to address these concerns, media outlets can play a pivotal role in combating racial discrimination and promoting equity in sports.